Hello, it's Lori. So I'm showing you a journal that I'm working on. The papers are from BeeHappyStationery. I have created a cover, or at least decorated the cover, and I have the pages in, and I'll show you the rest in a little bit. But before we do that, we talked a little bit about the journal that I'm working on filled with envelopes. And I said I'd show you the cover. Here's the cover. I finished it is burlap, so you can see the edges. It is incredibly messy and not structured like you'd have a book. Rather, it matches the aesthetic of the journal, which is, how can I say, experimental, artsy fartsy. I use that word lovingly, by the way. I like to identify with that. So you can see a bit of the cover at the top, you can see a bit of the cover at the bottom, you can see a bit of the cover on each side, and yet the envelopes, they stick out. It's really starting to come together. I'm quite excited, and I'll be showing you this completed journal on the 30th of March. I'll also show you the other journals that I've completed on the 30th of March. I have a number of them on the go, and there's a reason for it. I'll tell you about it on the 30th. So, just thought still need to put something on the front of the journal. And originally I thought maybe I might put this piece on, but it disappears and it doesn't have any personality. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait and see what I choose to do on the front of the journal. Making journal covers is not my strength, but I hope to get better. I'll talk more about that on the 30th too. This is a book that I've kept the original spine, which is extremely narrow. You can see it here, just how narrow it is. And I knew I wanted to have some kind of fabric that would echo this soft. And I don't think I made it directly on, but it was better than when it started. Let me show you. This is the fabric. Can you get any more vibrant of a pink? Yes, you probably can. So this is tea dye. This here is tea dye. And it works. It's not perfect, but it works. My other choice was this one, but it didn't, yeah. This is a flannel, a very old flannel. I saved it from a scrap bin, literally a cleaning scrap bin at my mother-in-law's. So I've got this fabric. I have this fabric, and I cut out a piece that I wanted. I put it on the book plate. I actually did that this morning. So I'm recording on Thursday. You're going to see this on Friday. I release videos Tuesdays and Fridays, so I'm always trying to keep myself in my own workflow. I started with this. I'll show you the signature in a little bit. And a bunch of papers from BeeHappyStationery. And I knew I wanted something small, but I don't want just a plain folio. And there was a creator. I'm going to put her name. She's in the Make It March collaboration. She did this concept where she took 2 pieces of paper and sewed them so they would be a pocket and something could be inside the pocket. and I got the idea from her. But this, you know, I've been tea dyeing. Nope, wrong word. This is paper that has been dyed in Red-Cabbage water. It's really cool. You'll have to look at the last video to see the grouping of them. But when I let them dry, before I put them in the oven, I put them on paper that is parchment paper, like this. And so I got the drops on the parchment paper, you can see. And I thought, why let it go to waste? My husband said, because he was cleaning up the kitchen, he'd come home after being stuck at an airport for a couple of days. He came home, and as he does, because he's a wonderful guy, he was cleaning up. And he said, should I throw away the paper? And I thought, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then that junk journaler part of me said, no, I bet you I can use it. Because when I printed out BeeHappyStationery's papers, I only printed on one side. I needed something for the other side. So the creator that did this style, she popped into my head. And then I thought, let's use this baking paper. It makes the most interesting and kinesthetic feel, and also the sound is fascinating. I got 7 of the pages, and I tore off the edges because when I printed these, they are in the UK style page. I think they call it A4. I'm not sure. Regardless, when you print, if you're in the US or Canada, print, make sure that it doesn't say fit to page or expand. Make sure it says, that it says fit to page. You're going to have a white border on either end and a little bit at the side. You'll see. I'll put a picture in. So I had to tear it off. So I just used a ruler and tore. And then I tore out these baking paper pages, parchment paper pages, and sewed them on so that I have pockets. There's 7 of the papers here, including some of that design with the blue on it. And I was, from the moment that it caught my eye with BeeHappyStationery. I need to get new paper. I do this so that I'm in the viewfinder so that I don't go off the page for you. My point, yes. I wondered why these appealed to me. And then I realized, I'm going to put a picture in here. This is why it impacted me. This is my mother-in-law's couch. We brought it back from Canada to where we live, and it's in my living room, and I like it. So apparently, florals, I'm in my 60s, so I guess florals are working for me. If I could have grabbed that fabric, I would have, but obviously the couch needed it. So I have this instead, and I tea dyed it, and I used Fabri-Tac to attach it. And it has the middle. And then I thought, okay, am I going to do the usual thing, which is a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, sew it in, make it a book. And then I realized, no, I might want to do something else with it. So my end result is to just tie it in with a bit of ribbon. And that's where the blue can come in on the ribbon because it's not on the fabric. And it becomes extremely versatile to build a signature, to work on, whatever I want to do. And this journal, because it has a little bit of an Easter feel to it, there's a bunny and there's a few other whimsical animals. We're having a Easter gathering, and I'm going to have my guests pull out one of these, as soon as I've decorated them, little tags and write on them. 7 pages, 14 little tags. And this will become a keepsake for the future. Now, our daughter is getting married in December, and we've invited her future family to come and spend Easter with us for the afternoon and have a meal. And so we'll start the dialogue with them, and I'll have some questions to add to this so it becomes a guest book in a sense, but also a reminder years from now of the first time that we spent time with Sarah's family. That's the purpose of this. That's why it's small. I don't need a lot for one event. And yeah, I am enjoying the pages. This is an old sheet that I bleached and washed and then did a spray starch on it. Yeah. And I have a stamp that says hope. So I did a bunch of different stamps. See if I can show you. On my cart beside my table, I have a bunch of things hanging off of it, and one of them is some lace and bits and pieces that I use. So I did stamping like this and like this. I had some fun with stamping. I don't do stamping much. I don't consider myself a particularly good at stamping. Oh, there's a good one. This one, Merry Christmas. Not the right season. Anyhow, so I'll put some of that in here. Now for today and our time together, let's just start by decorating one of these tags. Now I started somewhere. As you can see, this has like a lace pattern, and it is from what is this? And I'm looking for one of the tags that I started. Oh, was in my here. I started decorating. I wanted to show you. All right, where is the one that I haven't punched? Creative ways of binding journals is important to me, especially this month. I'll explain at the end of the month why. Oh, here it is. It was right what I was using. This month I'm working on one that's an accordion journal, one that's an envelope journal, this one, and yeah, another one that's a never-ending journal. These are all the little bits of ephemera that Sandra at BeeHappyStationery provides with the kit. So I cut them out, but the concept will be to decorate the little taggy things. So there's place to write and little tags to go in. For quotes, for, yeah, whatever questions I'm going to come up with. That I haven't done yet. Okay, if you have ever seen these, they are punches. They have a metal cutting option. The design is very important, especially you want to make a whole line of things, because you match up where you've cut and where you haven't. And am I able to do this perfectly each time? No. Usually, And it depends on what glasses I'm wearing. And you see how I'm trying to match up the design carefully so that when I punch next, the decoration will be continuous. Ta-da! Now I could keep going and take the whole thing off, but with these tags, I've sort of been less precise. I am aware of the fact that they're going to be they'll be tugged on quite a bit. But so there's 14 of these. And to use the ephemera to decorate a little bit, and maybe some of the fabric. I have more to tear. Here's more. I did this morning. I washed it last night, the fabric, because it's stiff and it has something called sizing in it. But it's all cotton. What I do, it's curiously satisfying, is I start with a little strip. I cut a little bit like this, and then I just tear. Yeah, usually it's much easier than this. But the idea is I'll use it throughout the journal so that it coordinates with what's on the outside of the book cover. All right. Usually it's much easier than that. Maybe I'm tearing in the wrong direction. But of course, when you're recording, things don't always work the way you hope. I'm going to sew all of these little tags. And yeah, so let's put a little bit of the fabric here to make it coordinate. This is my fabric scissor. I have two kinds of scissors. Maybe you have that too. From the time our kids were small, they knew not to use Mum's fabric scissors. I used to sew for our daughter, make her dresses, and make our son a matching vest. One year, I got up early on Christmas morning because I had made their Christmas outfits, and I sewed myself a skirt before everybody else woke up because I wanted to have a Christmas outfit for myself. Maybe we won't put it down there. Maybe we'll put it up here. And I'll poke out. My idea is to make these little tabs with the lacy, I'm calling that lacy, I don't know what you'd call it, decorative edge. So it sticks out, but not too much. Just enough to be seen. So a little tab, a little bit of fabric will add to the interest. Like so. So this is my design team project for BeeHappyStationery. I am a design team member of Sandra's group, and I'm going to make a couple of things each month just to showcase the lovely digitals that she offers. Now she's based in the UK, so all of her digitals are in the UK measurements when you print them. As a person who lives in the North America, it is different than my printing. My printer works, but that's okay. And the size of my paper, but that's okay. When you're forewarned, you can then take action. All right, so we have a little bit of fabric on the top. And you'll see when it goes into, and again, this is not my idea. I'll put her, the creator on screen, who I was intrigued by her creation. See, and then when you look here, you'll see it sticking out a little bit anyhow. It'll tie in the colors. And I left this on purpose because I thought, you know, I can match the colors. And when this project is complete and I have the little notes from Easter, I don't have to keep it in the book cover. I can pull out the grouping of pages, or maybe just pull these out and put a different set of pages or signature of whatever kind in. Now this is something that was included in the digitals, and I've cut them all out, but I haven't inked them yet. Here's the little deer. I thought that was so sweet. And I am going to ink everything because, well, because I was on the fence. But in for a penny, in for a pound. There, that's an English statement. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it well. It's an experiment of March that I'm running for myself, and I'm 2 weeks in, a little more than that. I have been busy both January and February doing this art junk journaling experience, and I'm learning something about my work process, and I'm going to share the insights when I do a flip through of everything that I've made in March, because I'm imagining it's possible some of what I'm learning will resonate with you too. Now, I have the luxury of time, and I know that it's a luxury. I'm not suggesting anything else other than I feel very blessed. Put something in there. Okay. But regardless, we all have different things that are. Now, isn't this pretty? This is I got this on a gift a few years ago. Ribbon that's velvet. Thought I'd include that. So, point. I was making a point. I'm sorry. No matter what our age and stage of life, there are things that are positive and we can use for our benefit. There are always things that are negative, meaning that we feel as though if only I had this or I had that, or if only, yeah, you get the idea. I can't be the only one that thinks that way. Look at the benefits that you have in your life right now, even if they're not the ones that you would choose. And exploit the benefits that you have right now. I guarantee that you'll surprise yourself. But more about that at the end of the month when I go through flip-throughs of the journals I'm working on. All I can say is I'm surprising myself in many different ways, and I'm also surprising my husband, which is always a delight. You like to surprise the people that you love with positive things. So you get the idea where I'm going with this. You'll see this again at the end of the month. I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. My channel name is an expression of how I want to live my life with gratitude and with positivity, optimism. And I'm thankful for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this junk journaling group, and I value your time that you choose to spend it here, and I look forward to spending time with you again. Just remember, you matter. What you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're feeling, it matters. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye for now.